Good morning, everyone. I am Bailey Howard Leonard. I am a board member with the Permian Basin Adult Literacy Center. And we want to thank you and welcome you to coming to our live author stream with David Norec. A big thank you to Southwest 66 Credit Union for sponsoring our 2021 live streams. Good morning, David. How are you?
Good morning. How are you doing, Bailey?
I'm good. How are things in your neck of the world?
Good. I think we might be getting some rain, but other than that, we're doing well.
Well, good. Rain is always nice when it's in moderation.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited to jump in and discuss the adventures of Exo and Psi. But first, I would love for you to introduce yourself a little bit and tell our viewers a little bit of your history.
So my name is David Norec. I'm an author from McAllen, Texas. I am a type 2 diabetic, and that's actually how I got into this journey of writing a book. I lost my brother and sister to diabetes in 2013 and 2014. And shortly after that, I was driving around and made a quick prayer to God. If you want me to do something different with my life, put it in my heart. And he gave me this idea to write this book. And a few months after I finished writing the book, I actually came down with diabetes. I saw the warning signs. I didn't take care of myself. And so now I'm out, trying to teach readers of all ages the importance of living a healthy lifestyle and exercising.
That's so great. So your inspiration was your personal struggle, your family struggles. What was the process of creating Exo and Psi like?
I was an English teacher for 14 years. So the writing process, it wasn't new to me, but I knew that. And then a lot of people don't understand. It is a process. And a lot of people think, well, you can write a book and from one day to the next. No, it took me about 6 months to write the book, for me to write it. And there were a lot of days where I would write something and then go to sleep on it, wake up the next day, and I would read it. And I'm like, why did you write that? It doesn't make any sense. So then it was a lot of rewriting, editing. So it took me about 6 months. And I had to find an illustrator, and I wanted to find a local illustrator, somebody that I could meet face to face on a weekly basis, bounce back ideas. And I found an artist. He had never illustrated a children's book before, but he was an artist, a digital artist. And so I loved his work. We met several times, and it took him about a year and a half to complete the illustration. So overall, it took I'd say a total of about 2 years. So it was a process, and it was, just keeping in the back of my mind, my brother and sister, what they went through with diabetes, what I was going through, and making sure that this book had some meaning behind it and was powerful enough for, again, kids of all ages to learn about eating right, living a healthy lifestyle, and exercise.
That's a long labor of love, and you can tell that a lot of love and heart went into it. So can you tell us a little bit about a book and who are Exo and Psi?
Sure. So Exo and Psi, it's a play on the word exercise. They live in a town called OB City, which stands for obesity. The mayor of OB City, her name is Diane Beatties for diabetes. And in this first book, the main villains are Chip and his dog Nacho, which stands for potato chips. And so they're going around OB City trying to steal everybody's healthy snacks. But that's where Exo and Psi come in and try to stop them. And the real good guy of the story, he's the chief of police, Chief Will Ness, which stands for wellness. And ironically, well, I shouldn't say ironically, but I live in McAllen, Texas, which for the 4th year in a row, we've been given the title of the fattest city in the United States of America. Yeah. And so I guess you could say obesity. Obesity really is a good picture of where I'm from McAllen, Texas. And so,
wow.
And so the cool thing about this, along with the play on words, the really cool thing is as readers read the book, there's different exercises that they have to do, that they're encouraged to do. So by the end of reading the book, you actually get an exercise workout.
Well, everybody needs a little workout, even if some of us don't want to. It is important. I love all the play on words. It's easy to relate to. It's great for kids, and I think it's very clever and creative. So, can you read us a little bit of the book?
I sure can. It's going to involve me getting up and moving around a little bit. Is that okay?
Interactive. I love it. I'm so excited. I'm not going to do it with you.
I'm going to take off my headset so I won't hear for a little bit.
Okay.
Okay, so The Adventures of Exo and Psy. OB City, the city where everything is outrageously big. This is the city where a young hero and his faithful companion live. Together, they fight rascals of all kinds. These are the adventures of Exo and Psy. All was quiet in OB City as Exo and Psy stretched their arms and legs before a peaceful walk through Crump Memorial Park. And then before I go on, I got to say, and if you look on the bottom there, it says warm up, where we're going to warm up before we do our exercises. Crump Memorial Park is named after my mentor, Gary Crump, a pastor at my church who passed away also in 2014. So I wanted to honor him through this park. And so warm-ups. So hopefully we're ready to do some warm-ups, okay? We're going to take our arm out, pull it across our bodies, and stretch for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Other arm. Pull it across our body for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. Feet shoulder width apart. We're going to reach down. You're going to lose me for a little bit. We're going to reach down and touch our toes for 10 seconds. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good job. That is our mini warm-up right there. It was a beautiful morning. Birds were singing their blissful songs while families frolicked and played on the green, luscious grass. Suddenly, in the distance, screams of children pierced the calm air. Exo ran up ahead and saw what was causing the chaos. It was Chip and his menacing bulldog, Nacho. They were stealing everyone's healthy snacks. "Hey, Chip," yelled Exo. "Why don't you try bullying someone your own size?" "Come on, Nacho, let's get out of here," shouted Chip, as he and Nacho made a run for it. "After them, Psy, they're getting away." Exo and Psy quickly bolted after them. "We've got to run as fast as we can if we want to catch up to them." Okay, on the bottom it says sprint. We're going to run in place for 30 seconds to try to catch up with Chip and Nacho. You guys ready? Run in place. Ready and go. Come on, here we go. Keep it going. Don't let them get away. Chip and Nacho are running away. We can't let them go. Come on. Got to keep running. Don't get tired. Come on. Come on. Here we go. Do 10 more seconds. You guys can do it. Come on. Let's double it up. Come on. Even faster. Come on. And there we go. Great job. There you go. I'm back.
I have to say that was so much more fun if I was not sitting in my office right now. That seems like an enjoyable workout. I don't enjoy working out, but I love reading. You put this into a really, really fun way. I have to tell you, you're also incredibly inspirational.
Oh, thank you.
With your cheerleading while you're going. So that's lovely.
Well, and you know what, real quick, I appreciate that. And when I've gone to visit schools, I see that energy from the kids, and it goes back and forth. So to see them not only reading a book and getting, educated on things, but to see them move around and laugh and have fun, that's so cool to see.
I love that. That was so much more fun. I did the stretches and I noticed one arm was way tighter than the other, so I probably need to do some more stretching. I want to talk about the theme of health and wellness that you're promoting. And you mentioned that you were a teacher. So why is it so important to start those good habits early?
You know what? Number one, I think some teachers or a lot of teachers have kids that may come in with some kind of a behavior issues, and what they eat really does coincide with their behavior. So if you keep feeding kids junk food and that kind of stuff, and they're going to school with that, you're going to notice some behavior problems. But also, as I've gone around and done presentations, I've had several kids come up to me and say, I have diabetes, or some kids have come to say, I've gotten bullied because I'm out of shape, and other kids make fun of that. So it's very important. And as a teacher, um, studies have been shown that when kids do some kind of physical workout before an exam, they actually score higher. So there were two times I I love all my classes, but there were two times where I was dreading getting in front of the kids to teach. Number one was the first period of the day because kids come in really tired, and then the second time was right after lunch when they're just again real lackadaisical and tired. And then so having a book like this, hey, let's read this before we get our day started, right after lunch or whatever. It gets them going again. So exercise, not just of the body but of the mind, is extremely important.
Okay, so let's talk about mind health because
Mm-hmm.
that is also important. We have a question from a viewer. Why do you think it's so important for both young people and adults to read?
Um, one thing I've learned and I've been told is you never want to stop learning. And so the more you read, the more you learn. Better readers or people who read more become better writers. I learned that the hard way. Um, it's just something that we got to keep working our minds. My mom is in a nursing home right now. She's 91 years old, but I've seen what inactivity with the mind can do to a person's body. And so if we keep our minds exercising, if we keep exercising our minds, it's only going to lead to better mental health as well as physical health. So that's why I think it's really important.
So I want to highlight you had a really great review on the topic of mental wellness. You had a really great review from Jonathan at the South Texas Literacy Coalition, and it says the Adventures of Exo and Psy creates a uniquely engaging process to reading where children can physically interact with the story and develop a love for imagination, literacy, and physical activity. And I thought that was just such a lovely, encompassing, just an all around, it's well rounded, right? So the mental health, the physical health, the focus, all that. So I'm a big advocate for reading as self care and mental health. Are you, by chance, going to be releasing a book for adults soon?
Oof. I haven't thought about that yet, but hopefully it's in the works. Right now, I'm focusing on doing the second book in this series called The Adventures of Arrow, which is a little girl and her cat Bix. So aerobics, The Adventures of Aerobics, and so I'm working on that right now. Um, I hope to one day, yes, work on something for adults. Um, we'll see how that inspiration comes to me, and but I want it to be as unique as this because I think, like you said, it is very important.
It is. It is. So we just talked about that review from the South Texas Literacy Coalition.
Hmm.
Can you tell us a little bit about the book walk you're doing with them?
Yeah, so it's called a story walk, and over from where I live, there's a city called Harlingen, Texas, and they have partnered with the South Texas Literacy Coalition, and they're going to create what's called a book walk or a story walk. They have a 1 mile trail around a lake, which is right across from the library, which is perfect because it's combining exercise and reading. And so they've already printed out metal signs with pages from the book that are going to be placed along the trail so that families can, as they're walking, read the book. And then when it gets to the exercise part, there's going to be a little QR code where they can scan their phone and it'll take them to a video showing them how to do the exercise. So they're going to be able to walk, read, and exercise along the trail. It's going to be the first park. There's already another one in the works, and I can't wait to travel around Texas and try to get these fit lit parks all around the state of Texas. I think it's going to be awesome to get families together, to get them reading again, to get them exercising and talking about eating right. It's going to be great.
So that's a huge deal. Having a park based around something you created, that is a huge deal. Do you
It
keep
is.
your emotions in? Are you going to keep it cool the first time you go, or are you just going to let it all out?
Oh my goodness. You know what? I don't know. I take it day by day, but it's been a long road, and a long road with a lot of losses, with family members and such. I have another sister who's gone blind, legally blind, and hasn't undergone a couple amputations of her toes, and she can't work anymore. And I don't know. That's a great question. I think I hope to just let it all out, because it's going to be something that I'm honoring my family with, and not just my family, but anybody affected with diabetes or any kind of obesity related illnesses.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, as the author, what do you hope is the biggest takeaway from this book and what sounds to be a series that's going to be ongoing?
If one if one child can turn everything around as far as how they're eating and exercising, and then if I can hopefully prevent one child from getting diabetes, type 2 diabetes, or any kind of obesity related illness, that's all that matters. And I know that more children are going to be affected in a positive way, but if just one, that 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 would be for me. It would be a success.
And I think you're doing that. I know that I am very excited now to go over this with my niece and nephew. So talking about success, you put such a labor of love into this. And you
Mhm.
continue to put a labor of love into this. And we talked earlier about the process and how it is a process. It's not just magic. Look, I have a book. So a viewer asked, for future authors and writers, how do you recommend that they get started?
Just write every day. Write whether it's on a napkin or on texting something on their phone, whatever means you have. Just write. You never know when that spark, that little piece of imagination is going to come to you. Just write it down. It's nice. Sometimes we think, well, yeah, that's a great idea. I'll remember it, and we forget it. I have received so many wonderful ideas for characters for upcoming books. When my school presentations, I had one student say, "Hey, what about a character named Marsha Mello for Marshmallow?" I'm like, "Awesome! I'm going to use that." Another student said, "How about some best friends being called Brock and Lee for broccoli?" I'm like, "Oh my goodness, that is amazing!" And so whenever you get these little sparks, just write it down. And for anybody who wants to write a book, don't people are going to come and are going to try to shoot you down and say, "You know what, you're shooting for the stars. Hey, shoot for the stars. You'll land among the clouds," right? So just keep writing. Don't let anybody uh, bring negativity into your life, and just keep writing, writing, and writing, but also keep reading. The more you read, the better writer you're going to become.
Absolutely. Reading is incredibly, incredibly important. Um, so in the adventures of Exo and Psi, readers interact, they complete the exercises. What is your favorite exercise move and what is your least favorite workout?
Probably my favorite would be the sprints. It's just cool to it gets the blood flowing, gets you running right at the start. And then my least favorite would be the jump squats, where you have to, in the book, you have to jump over some boxes, and then you have to duck under some bags of potato chips that are coming over your head. So those are hard. You have to jump and then go into a squat position. I don't like doing. I shouldn't say that, but those are my least favorite to do when I'm presenting, because those really get me tired. And sometimes I limit myself to 4 presentations per day, because by the end of the day, on one of those days, I'm just dead. I'm exhausted. But yeah, but they're all fun to do. I love them all.
And so are you touring Texas? Are you staying local? How are you doing your presentations?
I was doing local. I was ready to just, go all around Texas until March of 2020 hit, and all schools were shut down and because of COVID. And so now I'm hoping that if things get back to normal, I can get back out there and put myself in schools, libraries, whatever, because that's really what it's all about. But I do virtual visits. I do some virtual presentations where I read the book. We do the exercises. It's not the same, but still, it gets me in front of an audience, and that's what I really like to do.
Well, and I imagine you're getting great response from the kids. You got great response from me, and I'm 34, and I was pumped and excited. So I can only imagine how much more amped that is. So I'm hoping that everything does get back to normal and you can start doing
Yeah.
that. So you mentioned you're working on the second one. What's your timeline? Where are you at in the process of that?
Um, one thing I've always wanted to do with these books, right now it looks like a series of 7 books, is I want to release a new book every November 19th, and that serves 2 purposes. Number one, November is Diabetes Awareness Month, and then November 19th would have been my sister's birthday. So not this year because of everything that's gone on with COVID, but starting next year, I want to release The Adventures of Arrow and Bix, and then go back to The Adventures of Exo and Psy, and then back to Arrow and Bix the following year, until finally the last book where Arrow and Bix and Exo and Psy will meet and finally defeat Mayor Diane Beatties.
Oh, spoilers.
Well, sorry.
There's 60 more books. You can't give out spoilers like that. I love that. Are you going to be working with the same illustrator?
I hope so, yes, because I love his style. We worked really hard in finding a good style for this book. So yes, I do hope so.
That's fantastic. So any other upcoming projects? So you're working on Arrow and Bix, but do you have like perhaps maybe the adult one for those of us who sit in an office all day and could maybe use a little stretching?
Who knows? I might have to, do one for adults, maybe using Pilates or something a little more, low key than really getting up and exercising, but who knows? But
yeah, adult workouts are not fun.
No, they're not.
They don't make them fun like what you just did.
No. Yeah. We'll see. We'll see what I can come up with.
How has the response been? So you've had, I saw a few reviews on your website. How is the response? So you said that kids are getting excited, but are you hearing from parents? Are you hearing from other educators that are just blown away?
Yeah, because, as a teacher, whenever we would bring in an author, and they would come in, sit down, kids sit down and let me read. And here's a page, here's the book. But this is completely different. These book readings, I don't even like to call them book readings, but these book readings are either like in a PE gym or they're like in a cafeteria. And so when parents and other teachers and administrators see the kids getting up and moving around and having fun, to hear the other teachers and parents say, hey, my kid loves to read now, because it's so much more than just sitting down and reading. You got to get up. You become a part of the story. I have a friend of mine who purchases books for me, and he's an optometrist. And when a child comes in, he gives them an option. Do you want a toy or do you want a book? And he has told me that almost every child says, I want the book. I want the book. And so they start reading, and then they exercise and they love it. And when they come back, they're like, do you have another book? And he's like, well, no, not yet, but
you gotta get to work.
I know, I gotta get to work. Well, I am doing it, but yeah. So the reviews have been great from parents and teachers and such.
That's so good. That's so good. Okay, so selfishly, I have to ask, because I love reading. What's your favorite book or your favorite author? Like, what kind of genre do you like?
You know what? When I was a teacher, I fell in love just along with the kids, The Outsiders. S.E. Hinton. I know that might be an easy choice, but that book just, man, me and the kids and we would just get right into that story, and we became a part of that story. I would say that book. I love that book.
Well, and having that connection also just makes it like you have great literature, and then you have something to connect it with, which I think is what Exo and Psy are going to do, because they're connecting the words on the page with the physical movements, blending everything together. So tell us, how can you get the book? And here I want you to plug your website, plug your socials, just everything. How can people find you?
They can go on davidnorec.com. That's DAVIDNOREC.com. I have all my social media handles on there. Also, this is one book where I don't ever want for there to be a reason not to be in a child's hands. So if you go onto the website, I will always make the ebook free. They can download the PDF version for free, or they can purchase the physical version from the website as well. But there's also coloring pages for the young kids. There's a video. There's a video that happened during COVID. I got to meet up with a local personal trainer, and her trainer was actually one of the trainers for Arnold Schwarzenegger, and
Wow.
yeah. So she agreed to do a video with me. So I read the book, and then when it comes to the exercise, I turn to her, and she does the exercises. That video is on there for free. It's about a 28-minute video. So I'm just throwing it out there. You are going to get a workout. You're going to get, you're going to read, but you're also going to get a good workout. So yeah, just go on davidnorec.com and everything you need you'll find it there. And for teachers, there are TEKS aligned STAR related lesson plans for reading, writing, math, and science on the
Okay,
website.
perfect.
Yeah.
And just for our viewers, just so you guys know, we are going to link his website and socials and all that kind of stuff for you so that you can get it, because I know I talk fast, he talks fast. So we are going to link
Yeah.
all of that stuff. Absolutely want you to go check it out, especially if you're a parent with kiddos. These are really, really important values to instill early, start those good habits early. Before we wrap up, anything else, David?
No, hey, I just want to ask you guys one thing. Are you guys ready to exercise?
I feel a little more inspired now. I will tell you, I do feel a little bit more inspired to work out, which is rare. So I want to say thank you so much for spending this time with me. It was very enjoyable. I want to say thank you again to Southwest 66 Credit Union for sponsoring this stream with David. And if you want to learn more about Exo and Psi, just head to davidnorec.com.
Yes.
Thanks so much, David.
Thank you, guys.
Have a good
yes.
day.
Thank you. You too.